Welcome to Paval Farm Probe, short videos of mods we test when we have specific jobs to do. In this test, we have the Scorpion King, can be found on the mod hub in the forestry equipment category. It is made by HR Forest and Fahrzeugsbau. And all of the links to the mods will be found in the link in the description below. The size of the mod is 39.07 megabytes. It is version 1.02 and it is released for all platforms. This job which we have to do is to cut down a tree on a steep slope. They asked us to do it because we have these types of harvesters, and unfortunately we cannot get to this tree because it is too steep. So we had to borrow this tree from the store and have this special attachment on the back, which is the Ponsee Alpine Winch, or in English Alpine Winch, which can also be found on the mod hub. But first, the Scorpion King here. It has a cutting length of up to 25 meters in half-meter steps, which means you can really precisely cut down the size of the log that you want. The processor head here is tiltable, and you can control it, well, with the mouse. You can tilt it and control it. It has various tires, including chains, like these here on the front, the Olosfers. Still can't pronounce that. It has a windshield grill to protect the front, and it has color choices from the various parts, which we'll see later. It has a trailer coupling in the back, functional trailer coupling in the back. It has interior lighting for the cabin. It has lights on the outside, Ponsee lights, like you see here. And it has a selectable bogie lift for the front, back, and complete. I am not entirely sure what that means. I have yet to figure it out. The price is starting at 385,000, and the power is from 286 to 385 horsepower. And we'll go over everything in the store now. It can be found here in the forestry machine vehicle category. After some searching, it can be found. Mine happens to be towards the back of the mods. Here you'll see all of the configurations. It starts out at 286 horsepower, has variables CVT transmission, 380 liters of fuel, 20 kph, and it weighs 26.5 tons. This happens to be the wheels it is attached now, and it has a whopping 4.6 meter diameter cutting width, which is insane. So the engine, you have the Scorpion King and the Scorpion King Stage 1, which will give you the 385 horsepower. Nokian tires, Trelleborg tires, or Olofors. I cannot say this. So for the Nokian tires, you have standard and wide tires. And back to standard. And Trelleborg, you have a varying number of tires with different numbers. This changes the look of the tires. I know on the front, if you zoom in close enough, it will change the actual written on there. And so you just have these varying different tires. And you have the tracks, or the Ulfers, the chains, Pro Grip F half. And then you have the half chain, half track of the varying different types. And then you will get to the full track, and you have the Eco Track, Baltic, EX, Kovacs, and Magnum. And back to the start. You have positioning lights, yes or no. Back protection, this is the old version and new version. And you have window tinting. These are crazy. Gold, which I think is bling bling, insanity. And black, which looks like you're going to be welding a few things. To me, these are a bit dark, but if you like it, go for it. Your cabin protection, front and back, or yes or no, I should say, not front or back, yes or no. And then your color selection. This one will go for a nice, maybe turquoise, is just the main body. Your cabin color will go for a nice red, is, as you see here, the cabin. The processor head color will go for maybe a purple. So you can see the processor head. Your chains, of course, will go for maybe a nice light blue, as you see the chain colors. And the rim color will go for a beautiful orange metallic. These are the different things you can color. You cannot change the other things, unfortunately, but that's okay. And it will add the price, of course, of the different colors to it. And so it can go to a maximum of, I don't know, maybe it can be more expensive. But there you go. As for the Alpine Winch in the back here, let's see here, let me give you the data. It is also made by HR Forst and Fortzugsbau. It will be in the forestry equipment. And it is 4.39 megabytes to download, version 1.0, and it is also released for all platforms. There is a hook to this Alpine Winch. You have to have the Platinum DLC to be able to use the full functions of this Winch. Otherwise, it is just decoration. It can be bought one way or another. The winch here is used for when you're going down steep slopes, which is specifically why I got this, is because we have to go down steep slopes. And it starts at 14,999. And it is used only for this Scorpion King or the Ponsee Harvester pack. To go into the store, it is found here in the tools selection of the forestry equipment. It is located here, maybe in the back. You, of course, have to search for it, but likely in the back. It is very simple to customize this piece of equipment with only just the two colors here. The main color, go for pink, and then the design color, which is the winch, go for green or turquoise, which is just winch attachment. And it'll get up to a price of maybe 15,749 or so. It seems there's a light on here, huh? Back, or is that a camera? That's kind of cool. I just noticed that. To use the function of the winch, as in the platform DLC, you go up to it and push R. I have a keyboard. I do not have a controller, so I really don't know what the controller buttons are. So can only explain in the keyboard. And then to attach, you push B. And it'll nicely attach to the tree. To winch in and out, you have to be inside the Scorpion King here. Let me open up the controls here. To winch in and out is K and M. I think that's slow. Oops. I have, well, that's the map. That is the keyboard. What can I say? To control in and out, you use Control M for fast to go out, and then K to go in. As you see there. I happen to have joysticks, and so I'll use those because I don't like using the keyboard to go out and to go in. To unfold, as you see here, it has the transportation hooks attached to it. You push Y on the keyboard. to unfold. First, it unfolds the arm, and then it will tilt the cabin to the appropriate angle so that you sit upright, like that. And then you can turn it on. B. There we go. And it'll open up and it'll turn on. To change the length, as you see, you push Z, and up on the upper left corner, let's go into this guy, you can change the length. I'll cut at 6 meters. Let me open up so you see the mouse controls. Your left mouse button, turn left and right, the main cabin, and then up and down the main arm. Your middle mouse button tilts the head. Your both mouse buttons, up and down, will open and close the head, and it will also turn the head. And then your right mouse button will open and close the second arm, and it will raise and tilt the second arm. It's the standard controls for any crane. So I have a tree, the tree marked down. Well, I have to go forwards actually. The tree marked down here, which is the actual job that I have to do. And then you just feed it along and feed the processor like normal. To fold it, you push the same Y button and it'll even out the cabin, and then it'll fold up the arm, attach the two chains, and then fold it up nicely. Have to be careful when going backwards with the winch when rolling up, because it will first tighten up and then it'll shoot you up like a rocket. I am only using the chain to control, this is a very cool thing. I think it'll just shoot you up. But anyway, you'll get unstuck very quickly from the slope that you're in. Well, you don't actually have to use this winch when you're going down the mountain. It's only if you're having trouble going up, which is actually a very helpful thing. I like this winch. And so you don't really have to actually attach before. You can attach after to get yourself out of trouble. And let me attach from the tree here. I believe it is Z. Yes, exactly, Z. So the cool thing about this harvester is the tilt function. You can go over here, tilt it, and then pick up your tree. And you automatically have it. Whoa. Okay, whoops. You automatically have it attached to you. It is a little bit easier than using the base game equipment because you can't tilt it as far as I can tell. So this is a very helpful mod in that regard. One last thing about this Alpine Synchro Winch, which could be potentially a little bit of a problem, or at least a nuisance, is when you have manual attach, you cannot reattach it. Release it, you cannot attach it. When you are at the store and you want to pick it up for the first time, you cannot attach it. There are two options. The first option is to go into the cabin and switch off your manual attach. Right here, just switch it off, and then you'll see the button to switch. Then you can push the attach. And then what you have to do is turn it on again. Or the other thing to do, which I kind of discovered, when you switch on the manual attach, which it is on, you can switch it off, but then what you would have to do is bring it into height. I have the super strength, but it doesn't help. I can pick it up, but I can't do anything about it. What you need is height. What I have done is bought these 2 pallets of popple, and when I come up to it, I can then attach. That's the problem with it. The trigger is a little bit too high to do the manual attachment on this machine, but that's okay. So you can either attach it one time, figure out how to attach it at the store if you do not have super strength to pick it up, and put it on. You can attach it using manual attachment and just leave it on the machine, or what you could do is figure out a creative way to detach it when you don't need it. For example, on these 2 popple pallets, or you can use a table or whatever you can come up with, and then you can attach it just fine. That is the one small hiccup with the Ponsee Winch, but I'll leave it up to you to figure out the way that you would like. Thank you very much for watching this first video of Ponsse Farm Probe, which is our short news video of how which machines our demonstrations are. Let me continue with this job, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Goodbye.